Okay, so before we get started, places if you're going to want a Bondo, like if you got a crack in it or something came off, you're going to want to put a piece of tape on the inside. I know you can't see that, but you're going to want to put a piece of tape on the inside so you can just Bondo right over it. And you're going to also want a piece of cardboard. So let me just raise this tripod a bit. I can get a nice aerial view of everything going on. Okay, there we go. If you wear bracelets, like I do, I wear an army bracelet and a support for an injured Marine bracelet. You're going to want to wrap the underside of your gloves under them so they don't come up and get on your bracelets. So, first you're going to want to take your lid off. No way you can get to the Bondo without doing that part. And set that off to the side. If you look on the inside, you can see a whole bunch of stuff on the wall. You're going to want to scrape that down into the pool of Bondo in the middle, because it's easier to dry out when it's on the side of the jar instead of actually being in the middle. And just stir that up a bit. Okay. So, cardboard piece, so you can pour your Bondo out onto it and mix it from there. I don't actually need a lot of Bondo for this part, so I'm just going to scoop out a couple dollops. You want to work in smaller layers because if you don't have enough, you'd rather just be able to go back and get more instead of taking too much and not being able to use it all and then wasting your Bondo. Right here, I have maybe about too much, so I'm just going to scrape that off and put it back into the bucket because I didn't add the catalyst to it yet. Just scrape that off next to the pile somewhere so you can stir it in when you're mixing. I'm going to grab a cleaner plastic spreader piece. Seal up your Bondo good and leave this scraper on the cardboard pallet for now. You don't really want too big of an applicator, so you're going to want something about maybe this big. That's all you really need. And so let me move the Bondo down here. And so all Bondo catalysts have to be what is called kneaded, so it doesn't just put out liquid instead of the actual cream hardener. This is where fiberglass resin and Bondo resin separate, because this one's a cream based while the other is a liquid based. So after you knead it up down at the bottom, pushing it up towards the top and then top to the bottom, shake it up a bit, and here comes the heater. And so then you're just going to put a small bit of on there because seeing how I have the heat on, it's going to make it cure quicker. So you just take it and start spreading it around, stirring it and stuff. If you need to, you can always add more catalyst to it. Remember, wear crappy clothes when you work with Bondo or fiberglass resin, because you don't want to get this stuff on your clothes. It stays in there and will never come out. Okay, so as you can see, our Bondo is a pinkish gray color. You might not be able to tell because of the light, but this is ready to get spread on. So after you spread it out and get all the gray in and everything, you're going to want to stick it in, pull it back, which will get it onto the plastic spreader without any drips. So now you have this piece. I'll just bring this closer so you can see better. Okay, find the spot you're going to want a Bondo, put it down, and then just drag across and scrape it, catching any excess you might have. As you can see, I have a lot here. I kind of misjudged, but that's okay, because if you have too much at the end, don't fret, because you can just take it and move it over to another spot. Also going to do the ear pieces right here, just to make sure those are smoothened and hardened properly. What's great about Bondo is if you have a piece and you put stuff on too thick, after you sand it down you still can't get the big bumps out, you just cover it up with more Bondo. Like I said, drag it back, just scoop up. One thing about Bondo is you don't want to get it into these small crevices. It's hard to get in there with a piece of sandpaper to sand everything out. So keep everything nice and thin. Keep everything smooth. My visor could use a little bit more filling because it's still really crater-like, so I'm just going to add another cover over it.